Hello everyone, my name is Henri Olkoniemi, I'm from Åbo Academy University, Finland, and this presentation is about an eye movement study on how second language speakers process metaphors and similes. A metaphor typically takes form X is Y, for example, education is a stairway. Similes differ from metaphors in that they also include a comparative word like. For example, education is like a stairway. Most of the theories on figurative language comprehension assume that similes are processed faster than metaphors. Moreover, they expect that phrase-related factors, like familiarity, affect the ease of processing both similes and metaphors. However, most of these theories do not take into account individual differences, although language proficiency has been shown to modulate these effects. In the present study, we investigated the combined influence of phrase familiarity and English language proficiency of Finnish second language speakers on processing English metaphors and similes. In the experiment, 63 participants from the University of Turku read 31 similes, 31 metaphors and 62 filler items in English. The items used were the same as used in the study by Ashby and colleagues 2018. Please see examples of the experimental items at the bottom of this slide. While reading, participants' eye movements were recorded using iLink 1000, and a composite measure of English proficiency was used based on the English proficiency score of the bilingual language profile and the lexical test for advanced learners of English, measuring vocabulary knowledge of the participants. Overall, the results showed that higher English proficiency and higher familiarity resulted in shorter reading times. Also, similes were faster to process than metaphors. Figure on the right side of this slide represents go-past time on the spillover region. In the figure, reading of metaphors is marked with black lines and reading of similes with gray lines. You can see reading times of the low proficiency readers on the left side of the figure and reading of the high proficiency readers on the right. X-axis represents familiarity. As figure shows, for low proficiency readers, go-past reading times were shorter for familiar similes than for familiar metaphors. As for the high proficiency readers, similes elicit shorter spillover times than metaphors only in case of low familiar constructions. Figure on the right side of this slide represents gaze duration on the explanation region. Again, reading of metaphors is marked with black lines and reading of similes with gray lines, and x-axis represents familiarity. As you can see from the figure, when the familiarity was low, readers showed longer gaze durations for similes than metaphors. However, this effect wore off as the familiarity increased. To conclude, similes were faster to process than metaphors. It seems that explicit comparison makes processing of figurative meaning more predictable for second language readers. Higher familiarity resulted in faster reading of both metaphors and similes, suggesting that familiarity increases predictability of the phrase, making it faster to process. Last, higher second language English proficiency was associated with greater benefits of metaphor familiarity in processing. It seems that higher second language proficiency releases capacity to use higher order text information, such as familiarity, during the interpretation formation. These findings support theories on figurative language processing that take into account phrase and reader-related factors in comprehension, for example, the predictive coding theory. If you got interested in this study and want to know more, you can find a link to the preprint of this study from the upper right corner of this slide. Thank you.